Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
So once again, this is Elenit from the ISE. I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon and taking this time from your very busy schedule. We're very excited to have with us today Mike Tosaw, the Director of Education for OptionsXpress and a leading instructor and options expert. Mike is the man behind many of OptionsXpress's online tutorials and live webinars. His audiences around the country include online traders, members of the investment clubs, and independent representatives seeking education about online stock and options trading. His firsthand experience as a retail investor and investment advisor makes him a resource for all investors. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike. 1 second.
Hello. Hi, real quick, let's run another sound check just so we can make sure that everybody can hear me. If you can hear me, go ahead and type in where you're listening from in the chat box over on the right and just set it up so that the presenter can see it. Okay, I see Atlanta, Georgia, so at least we have one person from Atlanta. Oh, we got Boston. Prescott, Arizona. All right, we are looking good. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. And let's proceed with today's presentation. Life Hedging with ISE FX Options. My name is Mike Tosaw. I'm the Director of Education here at OptionsXpress. And I'm excited to be here, as I always am whenever we do a webinar with the ISE. This is a very fascinating topic, especially in this economy. And it's always fun to be back and working with the ICE. Before we proceed any further, we do need to mention that options do involve risk. Please read the characteristics and risks of standardized options. You can get the risk disclosure document by going to OptionsXpress.com. It's at the bottom of the web page. I know you can also get it at ISE.com as well. And if you have any issues or you'd like to get the risk disclosure document, please feel free to contact OptionsXpress or call 888-OPTIONS and you'll get the document that way. Now, a little bit about ISE options. They are accessible through your options broker, as you can see. At OptionsXpress, we do have all of the ISE options available, and you can do them in any account. So let's say, for example, that you have just a regular trading account. You can trade an ISE option the exact same way that you can trade an option on Google, Yahoo, 3M, or Home Depot. This is an exchange-listed security, meaning that the ISE regulates what goes on. Now, does that mean they make sure that you make money on them? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is you don't have to worry so much about lack of regulation. Let's say that you get a bad fill on a trade. You can contact OptionsXpress or whoever your broker is, and they can contact the ISE and see what happened. You know that there's some semblance of regulation going on and that there's someone at least, excuse me, you at least have someone with which you can talk to should anything happen. The ISE FX options are cash settled in US dollars, so everything is dollar-based. You'll notice in that middle column on the graph that the US dollar is listed first. So with that, if you're bullish on the US dollar. If you're bearish on the US dollar, and you're bearish on it against that other specific currency. Now, the other thing that exists on this is the fact that these are all European-style options. So you don't have to worry about early exercise. Now, in reality, early exercise isn't really an issue most of the time anyway. But if that's something that you're concerned with, you don't have to be with this specific product. The other thing that needs to be mentioned, you can trade these as spreads. So let's say that you have an opinion on the dollar, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. and you really think that maybe the premium's a little bit too high to just be buying a call or buying a put, you can do a spread on this product just as easily as you could on any other stock option. Now, in today's presentation, these are some of the things with which we'll be discussing. What is the actual real price of gasoline? We always hear about how, oh, we're paying over $4 at the pump, we're paying $3 at the pump, but in reality, what does it really mean? We're also going to discuss what the real rate of return in the stock market is. What is the market actually doing? We're going to address the question, is this just a guessing gambling game? And that goes at the heart of every being of every trader. Are you really a good trader when you make a good trade, or did you just get lucky? Are you really a bad trader if you're wrong, or is it just bad luck? We're going to be addressing that issue today and how it affects the currency world. And we'll also talk about how this actually affects you. A lot of people stay away from the currency world because they feel that they want to live isolationist-style lives, but I'm going to show today how being educated on different currencies and how they trade can be of benefit to you, even if you don't trade the product. So let's get started. Now, is $4 gasoline really a big deal? I remember about a year ago when the price of crude oil was at $147 a barrel, and we were just paying about $1 million a gallon, it felt like, at the pump. And that was just huge. It seemed that every day it was just more and more painful just to drive to the store. Well, in the United Kingdom, in May of 2008, the price of gasoline was $8.23 per gallon of petrol, if you will. Now, granted, they measure it in liters over there, so it works a little bit different, but nonetheless, it just worked a little bit different. Now, at that point in time, gas was $3.84 in the United States. You can see my source for this information at the bottom of the page. So, if you were to ask someone in Britain about the price of gasoline and you were complaining about what the price actually was, well, with that, look at what the Brits were actually paying on it. Now, there's a lot of different reasons as to why they were paying for it. Taxes played an issue, and of course, the currency played an issue. How does this affect me? Well, in the United Kingdom, between then and now, gas has decreased 36%. In the U.S., the gas has decreased 40%. Why is that? Well, there's a lot of thoughts on it. We're going to address all these thoughts as to why it could have happened. Could it be due to less demand because of a world recession? Could it be because of the popping of the speculative commodity bubble with all the hedge funds that were in the commodity futures and that type of thing? Could it be because we dropped interest rates so much? Could it be because of currencies, or could it also be all of the above? Why did that happen? Well, let's start with the issue of less demand. I think there's very few people that would doubt that this played at least somewhat of a part in the fact that gas prices dropped. If you have less people wanting something, it's just back to basic economics 101, the prices will not be as high because there will need to be more people will want to be attracted to buy the product. Now, the other point that I thought was interesting, OPEC was even cutting supplies during that time frame. And even as they were cutting supplies, prices still continued to drop. The third point in terms of less demand has to do with the actual car manufacturers in general. Everyone that hasn't been under a rock for the last year has heard about what's going on with GM, Chrysler, and Ford. So with all that that's going on, less people are driving. That is definitely, in my humble opinion, one of the reasons as to why the price of gas did what it did in coming down so quickly.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.